On the path of goodness, a person's first step may be reluctant, but the second step is taken because the heart itself is willing. In the Buddha's teaching on the 8 donor consciousnesses, the second one,
Asasankarika dana citta,
represents a purer, more natural state of mind. No one pushes, no one reminds, the heart simply wants to give. It is a generosity that flows like a spring, needing no reason, and carrying no hesitation. The Buddha described the second donor consciousness as asasankarika, the unconstructed, unprompted, naturally rising mind. It has 3 characteristics. 1. The heart acts on its own, unconditionally. 2. There is no calculation or hesitation when giving. 3. After giving, the mind feels light and asks for nothing in return. This kind of generosity arises from a person's inner goodness, compassion, understanding, and wisdom. It is not, I should give, but, I want to give, not, they need it, but, my heart wants to help. In the Buddha's time, there was a young monk named Bhatia, a shy, quiet, and soft-spoken bhikkhu. He kept his precepts strictly, yet he was never brave enough to give anything voluntarily. One day, he saw an elderly, impoverished man outside the monastery. The man's clothes were torn, barely covering his body. He sat shivering, yet still bowed respectfully to every monk who passed. At that moment, something inside Bhatia was touched, not pity, not sympathy, but a sudden recognition, as if seeing his own old age reflected in the man. He stopped walking. In his heart a single thought arose. I have an extra robe, but he has none. If I don't give it, he may freeze to death tonight. The thought was clear, direct, and entirely without hesitation. So he returned to his hut, took his only spare robe, and offered it with both hands. Tears filled the old man's eyes. Venerable sir, I do not know whether this is fortune or karma, but I know, this came from your heart. When this reached the Buddha's ears, the Buddha smiled and said, Bhikkhus, generosity that arises naturally, is the moment when the heart is softest and brightest. From that day on, Bhatia's previously ordinary practice changed. Giving became his daily joy. 1 year later, he attained the first stage of awakening. The Buddha said, when the heart easily gives rise to goodness, wisdom shines like a light within it. The story took place in 2019, in Penang, Malaysia. A 34-year-old food delivery rider, Rong, received an order on a cold, rainy night. When he delivered the food to an old wooden terrace house, he saw a man in his 60s, living alone, curled up in a corner. The elderly man hunched his shoulders, using a thin jacket to shield himself from the rain, and looked like he had not eaten properly for days. Suddenly, Rong remembered. I have a brand new raincoat in my bike. It was something he had just bought, and had not even been willing to use yet. No one asked, no one instructed. In that moment, his heart simply said, give it to him. He handed the raincoat over. The old man froze, taking it with trembling hands. Child, this raincoat is too precious. I can't accept it. Rong smiled and said, you need it, more than I do. The old man hugged the raincoat to his chest, his eyes growing wet. That night, the story was shared online by the shop owner, and many praised Rong as Malaysia's kindest delivery rider. But during an interview, Rong said only one sentence. My heart just moved for a moment. The Buddha described this kind of mind as
Asasankarika dana citta,
goodness that flows naturally, without prompting. The Buddha said, when the heart seeks nothing, the merit becomes boundless. There are 3 reasons. 1. The mind is pure, without distraction, and naturally powerful. 2. After giving, the heart feels light, without regret and without craving. 3. This kind of giving is closest to loving kindness, metta, and non-self, anatta. Therefore, This form of giving is not merely a good deed, it is a practice. It purifies the heart, increases merit, and cultivates wisdom. Some acts of giving happen because someone reminds us, some happen because circumstances force us. But the second type of giving is when the heart opens on its own. When the heart is willing, it needs no reason. When the heart is soft, it needs no pushing. This willingness is the most beautiful beginning of generosity. In the next episode, we will enter Episode 3, the third donor consciousness.
Sumanassa sagata dana citta.
Joyful, yet still slightly reluctant giving. The third donor consciousness shows us that, even when the heart feels a bit reluctant, if it carries joy, that joy can produce immense merit.